And welcome to Hub City Deli for the final Jackson Christian recap show, football recap show of the season. As far as football, we may do something for basketball, but they play so many nights. But in one way, it's a happy night. I get to sit here with two of the finest young coaches, and the whole staff has been here this year. And another way, it's a very sad moment because it's kind of like a passing of right or whatever. We had a bunch of good seniors that played in their last game. I've got a picture I'll show y'all of Tacker Nash hugging his grandfather, and you could see the emotion. The kids wanted to win for you. They gave it a good effort. We played under some adverse conditions. The kids tried. There was no lack of effort, and I'm going to tell you what, it hurt them. It hurt them, but they handled it like champs. They were class all the way, and we've been through in the playoffs some unusual stuff, but Jackson Christian kids have shown class. With me, my co-host, Brian Bullard. Do you know him? And you get to get him in basketball. I'm going to make him do some play-by-play in basketball. And, of course, one of the finest young mentors in the world. Think the world of him. Sometimes, I say maybe I'd like to have a son like him or something. And I'm old enough to be his father. And, matter of fact, his parents are probably younger than I am. And what a great guy. The only thing I miss, Coach, is that your wife and kids are not here. Coach Bullard's young people, they're busy. And I know – and I miss them too, great people. But, guys, I'm going to turn it over to you for some opening statements from both of you about what a great season. I mean, I feel even better than I did before the season started. Not because we lost, because of the association with the program.
Absolutely. And, you always hate it to come to an end. But our guys gave great effort all year from the start of spring ball through summer workouts, through all the adversity that comes in with a season. You're always going to battle adversity, but our guys met it head on and did a great job all year. And we're super proud of our seniors and their leadership and a lot of the underclassmen and their growth and a lot that we have coming back. And the seniors can take pride in that they've created a new standard in Jackson Christian football, and they have a lot to take pride in, especially those younger guys. They've helped mentor them and for seasons that are going to go on from here on out.
And Coach, we're happy to be here one last time for football and for Hub City to have us. And Shane asked if we wanted to do a final show, and I think it's perfect. I think we needed to recognize, obviously, and talk about the game, but also to talk about some seniors and some guys and some stats. And I was excited. I didn't know if we'd get another one, but I'm excited to be here. When you sit around and after you look at a season, and as soon as the season's over, coaches look to the next year. And as we were sitting around the office last year after that loss to Davidson, and you're looking at Peyton and Will and Danier and Aaron and that offensive line and all those guys, you're looking and going, how are we going to replace that? And you don't replace them, but you do get guys that step up and take on a bigger role. And, Coach, we had, and you called every one of their games, we had guys step up. We had an offensive line that didn't have a lot of reps step up. We had a transfer in Carson McKee, who was a godsend for us, not only on the field but off the field, as a leader, as a guy that people looked up to. Campbell Scott, we can't say enough good things about him. We had guys just step up and say, yes, we lost a lot of great football players, some of the best football players to come through here, but we're ready to step up and do this. And for us to go out and win 9 games and make it to that that quarterfinal game and give Nashville Christian a fight, all they wanted. I'm proud to be a part of it, and excited to recognize these guys one more time and talk about some young guys also that could kind of do that as well, kind of step up into some roles that they didn't get a lot of action this year.
Absolutely, and we had the Jackson Christian supporters were great, but I'm going to go to the Nashville Christian supporters. When we came out after halftime and we got to stop and some things started happening, there were some worried people over there. They were very worried and had a thing or two, and I'll leave it at that. Some interesting stuff, as I like to say. That's how I cover it. Not happen. This game could have really gotten interesting, and they were worried. And they knew we had a good football team. I got to talk to some of them after we signed off, and they said we were fortunate. They said if this had been at y'all's house, and they named a couple of conditions, this would have turned into a real white knuckler or slobber knocker. 'Cause our kids hit them. They play. I got to mention a young man. You talk about Carson, and if you had to mention that, but I got to mention another one of the quietest young men. Now, he did a great job answering questions when he was here, but Liam Cox comes out of nowhere, basically. He got very little playing time last year because we had 5 stalwarts on that front line, the guys with all the experience. And this was not a patchwork line, people. This is a next man up line. Also in the other positions, next man up. And that's the thing. And the good news is we have a fair amount of them, and we got a lot more coming back on offense than we had this year.
Absolutely.
This year we were down to one guy coming back. And your defense, though, it got better as the season. The offense did too, but the defense, Chance King showed that form that he had when he was a sophomore. And this is a compliment. Chance was a wild man as a sophomore, but some injuries, both in baseball and football, kind of slowed Chance down for a little bit. And let's go ahead. I like the idea. Let's talk about some of these seniors that. Or do you want to recap some stats before we start?
I think we hit it with our seniors, and Coach printed this out, and I thought it would be a good idea. He highlighted this for me just to acknowledge every single one of them. So we'll just go down, and if you want to chime in about any of them, Coach, just jump in there and stop me. Cooper Cantrell, Walker Ray, Campbell Scott, Gary Bonifer, Adrian Rascon, Will Tyson, Liam Cox, Colby Mayfield, C.J. Carrier, Tacker Nash, Carson McKee, Brandon Bennett, and Chance King. And Coach, feel free to chime in and talk about let's talk a little bit about each one of them. And some will have more than others, but we got plenty of show tonight. We don't have any players with us tonight.
No,
but we wanted to make sure that
true recap
it's
show
a recap
tonight.
show. So go ahead, Coach, and just hit on Coop, and we'll just go down the list.
Yeah, absolutely. Coop Cantrell. His 2 older brothers came through our program, and this is the last Cantrell to come through, but a hardworking kid. When you think about Cooper Cantrell, it's a team-first mentality. He had probably times this year where he could have been selfish, but he helped a lot of the younger receivers grow, especially Jalen. Help him grow, help him learn the routes, help him learn the plays, and I'm happy that Coop got that last touchdown at the end of the game. To kind of sign off on his football career at Jackson Christian. He's a great kid and a great family.
And that's what Saturday I was just kind of doing some work around the house, but also reminiscing about things. And I sent Miss Amy a text, and Miss Amy takes care of us. She's our mom, and she takes care of the coaches. And I said, I can't believe we won't have a Cantrell playing football for the first time since I've been here, but just thanked her for everything. And they're a family that they don't want this. She's probably cringing right now, me talking about her. They like to be in the background, but she, took care of Coach's meals and took care of bringing things for the kids, and just a family you can't do it without. And it's going to be a sad time to not have a Cantrell as part of our program. He's always going to be part of our program, and they always will be, but just on the field. And in our locker room.
Throughout the years, I've been in this town longer than either one. Actually, I'm older than both of y'all too, but I've been here. The older guys that have come back, even from the 80s, I've seen them at the games. I recognize them. The Cantrells will be part of it. And yes, she is a very sweet lady, and I got a feeling she'll show up and be some help even after.
Absolutely.
I'd see Cooper gone because what a good person he is, and it's, I don't know, I'm going to get sad before the day's over because all these kids, I kind of know them. They don't know me as well as I know them. One, because I call their game, but 2, I see them in the community. And I mentioned Bill Hamilton a lot because he broadcast with me on Saturday because of Bill and I started to say Tristan first. Boy, Tacker would get me, and I'm scared of Tacker anyway. He bench pressed me. I get to see some of these kids, and then I know the parents, just like I knew Aaron's parents. I remember his mom and I used to go to the same church a long time ago, only she was a little girl. And, of course, she grew up a lot taller than I am, played basketball in South. You never lose these kids.
That's right.
You really don't. And just like the guy you played football with, I hear from him every when I know you do. Brother Aldrich is with us all the time, even though he's got games on Saturday.
That's right. That's
what makes a program. You guys and this team has defined family. Willie Stargell and the Pittsburgh Pirates and Sister Sledge would be as proud of y'all as anybody because they may have defined family on this team better than the Pirates did when that was their thing.
Well, and family is our motto, and we describe our family a little different. That family stands for forget about me, I love you. Forget about myself, but how can I be a blessing to others? How can I make other people around me better? And our guys have really bought into that motto, and these seniors have. These seniors have helped. Even though some of these seniors that haven't been in prominent roles for us, they've been behind the scenes helping this team grow and helping this program grow, so everybody can take pride in what we've accomplished this year.
Coach, you got the list, so we're going to let you run the show on the
Go
names.
ahead, and I'll take Walker. And we've talked a ton about Walker on this show, and I spoke with him after the game, and you hate being a part of the hugging because it's over, but you get to talk to guys and you get to share that moment with them. And I just said I'm proud of you for embracing whatever role we gave you, and we know that, Coach. I don't know that I've ever seen a guy come in after your quarterback takes a hit and just throws a touchdown, and is just ready.
They had some zip on it too,
and they made a good throw, and that kind of embodies what Walker did for us this year.
The Swiss Army knife.
And that exactly right. And I said, you just take that motto for the rest of your life and fit in and be a part of whatever you choose to do and take on whatever role you've been given and use the talents that God's given you. And Walker had a tremendous year for us. And I mean, for receiving, what did he end up with? Let's see my receiving yards here. Where's that at?
If you don't have it, let's see. I've got him with 17
total receptions. He's got 19
19
for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns. And in a lot of those receiving yards, Coach Bull hit on it. You hit on it earlier on in the year. We knew that passing the ball for the first time in about 4 or 5 years wasn't going to be our strength this year. We had to do kind of a philosophy change, and we know we had to go ground and pound. And our receivers bought into that. They bought into blocking on the edge to get them open, but also get our running backs open. And Walker did everything we asked him to do and more.
Oh, he did. He blocked. He snapped the foot. Folks, the only thing he didn't do was bring the Gatorade out at timeouts and stuff like that. He snapped the football on punts and stuff. Coach is an expert at that because Coach Darby was a snapper himself, and that's not the easiest job. And I know Walker's got some decisions to make. He'll make the right one, whatever he chooses. He could go baseball. I know a school that definitely would love to have him. There are others, but I know one that kind of drooling a little bit to have him in baseball. But he could be a snapper at a university in football too. And I know he's considering all the things. And this, like y'all said, he will be successful in life. Matter of fact, he'll make a lot more money and make better financial decisions than I ever did.
That's right. The next senior on the list is Campbell Scott. And, man, Campbell Scott, when you think of Campbell Scott, you think of a program guy, and I don't mean that in a bad way, meaning that he developed each year. He got better, and he was able to step into multiple roles this year. He was a linebacker, and then we moved him to corner, and he excelled at that. He did a great job, but he also did a great job of running the football for us as well. Tremendous growth, tremendous leadership outside of football. When you think of Campbell Scott, you think of a guy that's going to be the first one there and the last one to leave, who's sweeping the locker rooms, who's picking up everybody's locker to make it look right, and that's why he was voted a captain, and he did a great job for us.
And a young man that you would think he's quiet, he really is, but then when you ask him a question or you have something for him to do, he articulates so well. Mm-hmm. I know the teachers are blessed to have him in their classroom too.
Absolutely, and he's a great spiritual leader on our campus too. Every spring we do a football Bible study, and we do it either Wednesday or Thursday morning. We have the guys come in, and he was a tremendous leader spiritually in that Bible study. Thought-provoking questions, but also being able to relate with guys and talk through guys with their problems and different things, and being able to guide people closer to God. And that's the name of the game. That's why we're at a school like this, is to raise these guys, teach them football, yes, but make them better men, make them better husbands, better fathers, and get them closer to our Lord and Savior.
And that's what this
Campbell
program
definitely does that.
Yeah, he does. And y'all do a good job. And, folks, these two men will never brag on themselves, but every once in a while I'm going to interject something. They are examples. If I had a son, now I have a stepson and a daughter, I wished my stepson could have played football for y'all. It would have been my pleasure. And hopefully that all of these young men, which I know they will take something away. But Jackson Christian is more than just education. It's more than just athletics. It is a spiritual experience that is good for good citizens and good for the glory of God.
Absolutely. We appreciate that, Coach. Gary Bonifer is a guy that didn't hear from a lot on the field, but he's a guy that came to us as a sophomore, moved into our program, and just showed up every single day. Just embraced the weight room, embraced the team aspect, and asked questions, and he was just a good teammate and a good person to have in our locker room. And we're going to miss Gary in a lot of ways. And those are the kind of guys that buy into what their role is. And he got a lot of JV reps, and he did well there. And, and Gary's going to do good things with his life, and we're excited about him to remain a part of our program and to see where he goes. Adrian Rascon.
Yeah, he was
this
good
is awesome.
for him to come back and be a part of our family. And one practice, I don't think he would mind us sharing this, but he asked me to address the team. Like, he wanted to address the team. I was like, Adrian, yeah, absolutely. And so he got up in front of the team and broke down in tears about what this family means to him and how he's dreamed of playing high school football before. And he got that opportunity. And we were able to get him 2 opportunities to kick extra points when we were up late in games. And I think he's going to cherish those moments and cherish those opportunities that he had to play football. And
if Zach had gone down or had gotten hurt, I really believe he would have walked out there and done the job. This young man was focused. And glad you told that story. And
put a lot of work in.
Yeah,
he kicked every day.
He worked hard.
And you could see a difference and from day one to the end.
And that's what we want to build our program about. That's why we wanted to talk about each and every one of these seniors, and we could go down the list of everybody on our team about how they've had an impact this year. But it's not just starters. It's not just guys that contribute. You can hear their names on Friday nights. It takes all 60 of us every single day striving to be the best versions of ourselves, and they've really bought into that.
And you don't have to set foot on the field every play, every game to get a lot out of it. There are kids that the experiences they got, the camaraderie, the fellowship, the lessons they've learned, you can't take that away from an athlete. My particular group at Union, we get together every so often, about every 5 years. Used to get together a little more, but unfortunately our coach passed away. But and we don't get together. But these young men will be friends and family for life.
That's true.
Absolutely. Will Tyson was a guy that I would describe him as just a battler. He's battled some injuries and had some stuff go on with him this year. Battled some sickness early in the year, lost some weight, and came back to us and played some reps down the stretch. Got some time on the field, and just a guy that showed up every day. And I tell you, I commend him for how much effort he gave trying to get those first team guys better in practice. And that's something that we got a couple more guys like that you could say, well, I'm not playing, so I'm just going to stand over here or whatever. But we have guys bought into this, and we call it scout team, but those guys are huge, important, and Will's a guy that showed up and did big things for us in that regard.
Yeah, this next kid, I don't have my glasses. I can put them on. I'm trying to get his height and weight, but
6'1", 180.
Yeah, that's the warrior Lim Cox, and you already touched on him. Like, anytime you have an undersized guard, or when I'm watching film of another team and I notice that there's an undersized lineman, that means that he's going to be really nasty and he's going to be mean and he's going to be tough, and that describes Lim. Great speed to get on the edge in our blocking schemes, but fought all year, undersized.
Technique was good.
Technique was great. He was a technician. He really bought into what Coach Riker was teaching him and did a great job with it. He's a great player. And, battled through injuries throughout the year and was a mainstay on our offensive line for us.
And I enjoyed the night he was here. Very articulate
Absolutely.
young man. But and you watch him, and sometimes I would get to watching him when I'd watch tape and I'd check the footwork, and there were a lot of things he did almost perfect. If he had been any bigger, there would have been so many pancake blocks that you would have thought you'd open a pancake house.
Colby Mayfield, I kind of put him and Will in the same category. Colby's, I think, probably had an injury every year that's caused him to miss time, and he continued to battle, and Gave us some good reps at center, gave us some good reps. Late in games, him and Will were on that defensive line playing together. And that's a big thing where you can put guys in there that you can trust late in games to go in and continue what has gone on for the majority of the game. And Colby's just a kid that came and he showed up and went to work. And, like I said, he, had a lot of setbacks, but continued to be a part of our program.
I got to ask both of y'all this before we go on to the next young man. We've mentioned some kids like you just mentioned. Is this, since y'all have been here, the most linemen or defensive linemen and things where we can substitute and have more depth than we've had in any other year? I know we've had some depth, but either y'all felt good about substituting freely because you ran a lot of people into when you could see somebody's gas kind of winding down.
Absolutely. We had, and that was the strength of our team. Our strength of the team this year was in our line and in our box players that we could sub in and out and rotate in and out and not really skip a beat. And I think that helped us early on, and especially the heat, being able to rotate, but also it creates more depth and also it allows more people to get on the field, which in turn is going to help the growth moving forward in our program.
And I'll speak to that too, Coach. Back in 2016, our playoff game at Waverly, first round game, and we were so thin on the line that our tackle went down, and we had to pull a jersey out for Hunter Allen, who was our tight end and defensive end. We had to pull a jersey out, and he had to play the entire second half at tackle. Didn't know anything. Just had to tell him what he was doing before the play. That's how thin we were. We've been an offensive line injury away from having a bad year for a few years, and what Coach Riker kept saying was, Coach, I've got 10 guys that can play. I said, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. All summer, I got 10 guys I trust. I got 10 guys that can play, and we did have 10 guys that could play. And like I said, he did a tremendous job with those guys, but they also – it takes them buying in. And you can give them all the knowledge and you can give them all the things you want to give them, but it takes them buying in, and that's a great group, and we're proud of those guys. And this next guy, Coach, you take him, embodied a lot of that.
Absolutely, and that's C.J. Carrier. Man, he's battled a lot of stuff on the field, off the field, and when you think about a kid like that, I mean, he's a hero to me because of what he's able to overcome. Did a great job for us all year.
He's played a lot of different positions.
Yeah,
it's also his whole career. And this year, y'all seem to be confident putting him at tight end. He came back to H-back sometimes.
Absolutely.
CJ can do a little bit of everything, can't he?
Pretty good athlete that's able to move places, but also we could go down the list about this group, but kind of like a sponge.
Yeah.
Very coachable. He's going to do exactly what we coach him to do. And can't say enough about C.J. Carrier and the man that he is and the man that he's going to be.
Oh, he was great when he was here one night. And I remember the interview. Your kids have impressed me. I mean, they're not kids. They're young men. We need to throw that term out. They are young men. They came in here and acquitted themselves well because at a point, Coach and I even changed some of our questions, and as the season rolled on, we had some pretty good technical questions. The coach was fabulous that, you know what, they didn't flinch. Mm-hmm. They did not flinch. And this is, again, a tribute to the program. Got to ask this. How many blood jerseys do y'all take with you? Because sometimes you have to change, and a guy can't wear an 80 number and play the middle of the line and stuff like that. But how many do y'all take with you?
We have about 3 or 4 extra that we take with us, but specifically for guys like CJ that if anything ever happened, that we have skill players that can play offensive line, vice versa. So
yeah, he could have played tackle or guard if he had been needed to. And
absolutely.
He could have played a little linebacker.
And I think his first 3 or 4 games he was at tackle for us.
Yeah, he played some tackle. Great job, guys. Didn't mean to interrupt. Those are things that I had that question. I was supposed to have asked y'all that 2 weeks ago about the blood jerseys and had it on my list and didn't. But who do we have next?
We got Tacker Nash. And Tacker – he mentioned Campbell as a program guy. Tacker's a program guy. Tacker's a guy that kids are going to talk about for a long time. Talk about him in the weight room, talk about him on the field, talk about him off the field, leading. And 103, Coach Phillips finished up the stats a couple days ago, 103 total tackles with 15 tackles for loss.
Wow.
one fumble recovery, and that just –
And that's without one regular season
yeah,
game.
and that's missing one of those games, Harding Academy. And that's just a culmination, the ending to a great career. Start out as a defensive lineman because that's what we needed. And then, play 3 years as a linebacker and just get better every single year and keep working and eating right and lifting weights and just embracing what it takes to be better. And you mentioned, wanting people to play for us, whatever, but I would love for my son to have the work ethic and just the character and the drive that Tacker Nash has, and that comes from a lot of places, family, grandparents, all those places, all those people that are helping him out. But we're going to miss Tacker, and we're going to miss all these kids. But having that, you didn't have to worry about who was going to play in the middle for the last 3 years, and that's a huge position on the field, and he leaves a big void, and we got some guys that can hopefully step up and fill in for him.
Absolutely. Coach, I know you're going to miss him, and he's a young man that, first of all, he got quicker. Because I'm going to be honest, and Tacker, don't be upset with Coach Joe. Coming out of 8th grade, he played hard, but I would have been tempted to have raced him a little bit. Now I couldn't. He beat me by 30 yards, and I know he can whip his dad. But he got to where he was great on pass coverage. He got out there on that and a lot of little things. He loved the weight room. I've never heard him say anything, but he beamed when he talked about that weight room. And all your kids, they love. Coach Irv got to be the greatest in the weight room because the kids love the program. Most of the time, people want to duck the weightlifting program. I'll pump a little bit and build my biceps up so I don't look good for the young ladies and stuff and all that. But your kids really love it. They come down there, and Tacker, I want to say, didn't he has a couple of weight awards where he's got the top weight lifted and some things like that. And I just want people to know there's so much to this program. And sometimes, even on a show like this, we can't tell you everything about it. And, guys, I'll throw it back to you. I'm all excited. I want to pump some
Yeah, absolutely. And the drive that Tacker has, because Tacker wanted to play linebacker, but we needed him to play defensive line his freshman year because that's what the team needed. But he came to us after his freshman year and said, what do I need to do to get better so I can be a linebacker? And we told him 3 or 4 things that he needed to improve on for him to do that, and he worked on it every single day. And that's a testament to him that he's changed his body. He's gotten faster. His foot speed, his lateral speed has improved drastically. But that's all credit to his hard work. Absolutely. And his dedication.
And we're looking probably at a spring signing is what I've been told. And, folks, you need to get down here. When we have a kid sign, come and support them, not just their classmates, but come and see them, the joy and the feeling. You'll leave there feeling good even if you're not kin to these young men when they sign. And I got a feeling we got a couple of others, but that one I know is going to happen. It's just a matter of finishing the choice.
That's right. That's right. The next young man on our list is Carson McKee, and Coach Bull and yourself already hit it on it. Moved in to our school, fit in great with our guys, ended up being a great leader for us, played O-line, D-line, played special teams, really never came off the field and did an outstanding job for us. He's a great young man, wants to be an engineer. Sky's the limit for him.
Yes, it is, and he'll be very successful at that. And Carson, we have enjoyed. He's been a blessing. The Lord blessed us with him moving in.
This one's tough. Brandon Bennett. To not see Brandon around is going to be hard.
Yeah.
And Brandon is the guy that has battled and didn't play football for a couple of years, and then came to us and had some shoulder stuff that he battled every single game. And to see him in that last game going in there and making a difference. And just laying it all out there, saying, if this is going to be it for me, I'm going to go out swinging. And Brandon I would have loved to have been able to see him healthy, and what he could have done for us in the middle. And D-line is all about your separation, your hands, and reaching and pulling and doing all those things that y'all know about. And he just wasn't able to do it. And a little bit was how injured he was. A little bit was fear of hurting it again. And basically it was, if you don't know what Brandon went through, and a lot of people probably don't, basically it was strengthen it during the week. And the first time it comes out or pops out during the game, you're probably done for the night.
Yep.
And that's hard to do, and that's hard for a young guy to deal with. And he would do his workouts and his therapy and all the stuff that Coach Irv and our staff put him through. And then he just suited up on Fridays. And, sometimes it was 1 or 2 plays. Sometimes it was, 10, 15 plays. And I won't forget in the I think it might have been the Trinity game, he got injured, and he was right back behind me ready to go again. And he went back out there, and he gave it one more go, and he just couldn't do it. And he kind of had to come off the field. And the look in his eyes, and he wanted it, and he gave everything for his team. And Brandon's a kid that if Brandon wants to play somewhere, he can play somewhere if he gets healthy and gets his body right. And if that's something he wants to do. I mean, it's hard to teach, Coach. 6'1", 370. That's hard to teach.
And can generate power
and can move
when healthy.
and does and has a good burst and all those things. And Brandon's going to be a kid that I hope he stays. If he's in Jackson and working or school or whatever he chooses to do, I hope he comes around, because those are guys that the kids love to be around. They gravitate towards him, and we're happy that Brandon Bennett came to us and we got to work with him.
Brandon goes into coaching one day. I'm serious. I think he would be a good one.
He's a personable guy. People love to be around him.
Absolutely. The last senior on our list is Chance King, and Chance has done a great job for us. Battled through a lot of injuries throughout his whole high school career. But to end his senior year with 67 tackles, being our second leading tackler again, just proud of his work ethic. Proud of, like you said earlier, played like a wild man.
Yes.
He gets after
and that's
it.
a compliment, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can put on the film and watch him take on linemen that are twice his size and watch him make them buckle to their knees. Like, he does a great job with what we teach and coach him to do.
And he's overcome, to me, and you coach baseball too, some of the injuries we have that way to arms and things like that creates doubt. This young man got rid of his doubt and came back, and he'd stroke you when he hit you, and that's good. I'm looking forward to seeing him play baseball this spring. Like I said, I'd like to keep going, but see, everybody, and even for me, they're special. You guys, trust me, 50 years from now, you're going to think back about some things that happened during this season that's going to leave a warm spot in your heart. But I also can take the other side. It's longer than 50 seasons for me. I think back still to the old days when I was in high school, and I was like some of the young men that got hurt. Nothing but pleasurable memories, good things, and some of the things that my coaches taught me helped me to, because I am the first on my dad's side of the house to graduate from college. I'm not saying that to brag. This is the difference that coaches like we have at Jackson Christian can make in your life, is that people will do things that they've never done before to be successful.
And that's what we ask them to do, and that's what the winter coming up, once we let them rest and start working out, and then you got to find that threshold and push past it. And we never want to put a kid in danger. We're never going to. But you have to let them figure out how tough they can be and what it takes to win games like last Friday, and what it's going to take to compete with those teams and that are bigger than us. And you mentioned that, and that's what the game of football teaches. And I hope if my son chooses to play it, I hope those are the lessons that he learns from it, and we can continue to do this for as long as we're able to.
Well, I'm going to encourage you. Two young men, both of you have administrative capabilities, and let's be honest, folks, the big salaries come from the higher-up jobs. I've worked on both end of it. I hope you guys don't make a decision anytime soon that you want to try the higher-up stuff. Enjoy and have fun with your athletes. Coach, before we take our first break, you want to say a quick word to everybody?
Absolutely. I just want to thank everybody for supporting us throughout this year, for all of our home games. It's always enjoyable to see, especially for our kids, how well our fans travel to away games and to support them, our students, and we're just so thankful for them. We're blessed by them, and we're thankful for everything that they've done this year to watch us online, to be at our games. We couldn't do it without them, without their support.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to do something I probably shouldn't, but I'm holding this up for the camera. We are at Hub City Deli, and you can see the end. I've already bit off my sandwich before I was supposed to, but anyway, it is great here. We appreciate everything they've done. The craft sandwiches, the featured in this one, the Angry Pig.
That sounded good. Yeah.
I almost got it, but I really need my club sandwich
with you.
tonight because it's a good night for that. And obviously, I'm waiting for the Piggy Sue, which is the 2 grilled pork chops. There are many other things that I eat. I know when my buddy Seabass comes out here, he loves the brisket. But now Seabass just goes down the order and tries everything. Each time he tries something different. These are good supporters of our program. Come by and see them. You don't have to wait for us to have the show to come by and see them. You come out here anyway, and they're just down the street from the school here on Pleasant Plains Extended. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, and when we come back, Coach Darby Palmer, Coach Brian Bullard will have more exciting information for you about a great season for Jackson Christian.
27 years ago, a vision became a reality and Snookum Steakhouse officially opened. We cut our steaks in-house and our ribeyes are full of flavor. The steak trimmings are used to make our certified Angus beef steak burgers, so when you order at Snookum's, you are getting high quality. Enjoy our salad bar and mini dessert. Also try our famous family recipe, the Pink Lush Fruit Salad. Come visit Snookum Steakhouse in Henderson, Tennessee. We are open evenings Tuesday through Saturday but closed Sunday and Monday. Snookum Steakhouse, come taste the difference.
Great American Sports, make sports an addiction. Located at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard, East in Jackson. We specialize in teen sports for youth leagues, schools, and churches. We can embroider and screen print team uniforms. We also have sports equipment, Under Armour, and Adidas clothing, and anything else you need for your teen sports. You can email or call us for all your teen sports needs. Great American Sports, make sports an addiction.
This could be a true story. On October 3rd, a 2003 hatchback struck and killed a deer that goes by the name Buck. I know, right? He now has Buck's head proudly displayed on his living room wall. He tells a different story.
Shot it.
No, he didn't.
And to hide his lie, he took his car to Mitchell's Body Shop.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. And lucky for him, they made it look good as new. And as for Buck, the story continues.
Hello folks, this is Gary Deaton, right here at Deaton's Carpet One. I want to let you know we've been in business for 48 years. Here's what I believe has made the difference. Our lifetime labor warranty on everything we install. Our healthy living installations, bacteria and germs cannot survive in our new flooring. Our beautiful guarantee, if you don't just love it, we'll replace it. It will make your flooring experience priceless. We're located on Freedom Highway, 1000 Highway 45 bypass in good old Jackson, Tennessee.
And we are back at Hub City Deli with the final for this year Jackson Christian Football Recap Show. But, folks, if you missed any of them, and guys, correct me, y'all's Facebook page, y'all don't take them down from there. They're still archived there. Mm-hmm. Worthy Road Studios, Paul has them archived on YouTube where you can go. And believe it or not, most of them, the folks at Grace Broadcasting that carried us on 93.1 on the radio, in addition to our school stream, which we're going to have some basketball games on school stream, the Booster Club stream, Worthy Road Studios stream. Now, I don't know what deal, and I'll find out from Paul, worked out. But they have them archived. Click on Jackson Christian School. There's no way to miss these. You can go back and see them. And these have been great. This is something that it was not my idea. It came from the school to have this. I think it's great because this is something that a lot of schools don't do. And believe it or not, gentlemen, we have spurred a couple of schools to copy what we're doing and do that. And, you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And that's just like some of the things we do on the football field. I've seen some schools that some things y'all have done over the past 3 years, they've copied it. Same number of steps, and you say, well, all routes run the same. No, but y'all have a little twist on certain things on your offense. I'm not going to get deep into that. Now, we've had a great year. 9-3, boy, there are all kinds of teams that would love in this state to be where we are. 5-1 in the region. But we also have gotten a lot of awards for our kids and things like that. We've been the team of the week on BBJ. And gentlemen, I'll let y'all address awards and honors. And again, folks, it's about teamwork. They're going to tell you that. But some of these things are very special. Matter of fact, We've had some young men even awarded the one at Grace Broadcasting. They get the big old belt and stuff out of that one.
Absolutely. We've had a number of kids be nominated for the Player of the Week in the paper, WBBJ. We've been the Team of the Week. We have a number of kids that we're excited to announce when we can for all region honors, second team all region, even Player of the Year honors, and we'll announce that when the last team in our region is done playing. All the coaches kind of agreed on that, but we're excited to announce that in the coming days.
And that's a good rule, Darby. I think you don't want to put it out too early, and folks, it's tough on the coaches. It's tough on the other people that help pick these things. Sometimes we just don't all see it, and sometimes a worthy candidate, and because there's a limit on candidates, sometimes somebody gets their feelings and stuff hurt. No coach, I'll even defend the other school, they don't really mean to hurt kids, and just sometimes it doesn't work out like you think, and numbers do limit things. And like our young men, we mentioned Liam, we mentioned some other people, the little bitty things might separate. The young man might be as well, and I just know it's tough and all that, and we even had our own. We need to remember, we let you, the fans, vote on Twitter every week. We had some great sponsors. Help me remember. I know Southern Capital sponsored some of them.
Allison Insurance.
West Tennessee Bone and Joint. And I believe Sonic had the last one,
didn't they? Stanfield Sonics had the last one, Allison Insurance. Southern Capital did a couple, and we have great sponsors. And hoping we continue to work with Hub City Deli. And I've kind of got a vision of where I want this thing to go, and I would love for us to be able to sit around and talk about it at the end, like when we get together and figure out how to make this thing better for the people watching it, how to make it better for kids to come be on it. Just keep growing. And if you don't have those visions, and I would consider us to have be a vision program and not just be stuck in the moment. Enjoy the moment, but how can we make it better, and how can we keep bringing this thing back? And I'm excited about it and have enjoyed it this year.
Oh, we do. Now, high points. Think back. I'll give you guys a couple. Think back. I mean, obviously, our first win over a team. We were not favored to win by very many people in our first game, but throughout the season, what are some things that stick out, or some high points as far as games and things like that for you two gentlemen? And I wish we had some of the kids here, and that's something Coach and I have talked about. Maybe next year we might turn this into, what is the term, wing ding or bang up finish for the seniors after this year. But talk about those, and I know first win's always big, but there are other good things. And like I said, I'm not sure that I know that's what Gary is doing a good job. Don't know what happened, Gary. Was going good for a second, and now
you're a little quiet.
You got a little quiet. The sound. Yeah, that's okay. We're better now. We got it up, and coaches, it's all y'all's.
Absolutely. I think that, starting off the season, getting to be 1-0 is a big deal. But that first game, we were dealing with a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries, missing a few key people, and our team developed that next man up mentality early on. We were able to win that game, and I think they got us going on a little 3-game stretch. But there's so many high points throughout the year to recall right now, but our guys did a great job buying into what we coached them to do, our philosophy, and they were able to go and execute at a high level.
To hit on that, the North Point game, they scored one late to kind of make it. I think it was a 10-point game. That one never felt like we were in a ton of danger. We kept scoring, and we knew we could score, but the one that really sticks out to me is the St. George's game. And when they punted late, and we had a chance to, or maybe I think we punted and there was the whistle blown and they fumbled and we recovered it with a chance to put the game away. And they came together. And when they come together, you know what's about to happen.
Good old inadvertent whistle.
Yeah, we had an inadvertent whistle. But in the past, I feel like our defense and our team might have just been thinking about and dwelling on that call. But they drove on us, and we made a play. Our defense made a play there at the end and intercepted a pass and kept them out of the end zone, and we won that football game. And that's one early that sticks out to me because the adversity that we talk about, all the time happening and can happen throughout a season. Happened, our team responded, and we beat a good St. George's team that won some big football games this year. And on the road at their place, I thought that was a big moment for our team.
It was big, and do I sound like I'm echoing?
Yeah, you're echoing a little bit.
And we'll figure that one out. Tell you what, let's do. Let's take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll make some adjustments and see what is happening. But we're at Hub City Deli, home of some of the greatest sandwiches. We'll be back with more of the recap show after this.
At Lonnie Cobb Ford, we now give you a warranty for life on the engine and transmission. That's right, a warranty for life at no cost to you. Unlimited time, unlimited mileage, but it's only at Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country.
Downtown is thriving, and the Blacksmith Restaurant is leading the pack. From the rustic dining room to the unmatched patio, eating local with family is what we're about. Live local, eat local, relax local.
Welcome to Man's Wrecker Service. We offer a wide array of services. We are dedicated towing professionals, experienced in both simple and complicated towing services. We offer light and heavy-duty off-road recovery, auto and heavy-duty towing, load shift and load transfer capabilities, and much more. We are equipped to handle any situation, no matter how big or how small. Call today at 731-424-2173.
We are a team composed of highly skilled physical therapists with new school treatment approaches and old school customer service principles. We are a community presence because we know our foundation rests in relationship building and involvement. We are leaders in this industry, and we're putting in time daily to develop that aspect of thinking. We're more than a business. We're a team composed of individuals governed by a set of core values. We're more than a physical therapy company. We're a movement in the profession. We are your premier physical therapy team in West Tennessee.
Southern Family Dentistry's dental laser technology is a game changer for those who experience dental anxiety. Just imagine, no more drills. Look at some of Dr. Nathan Nash's patient results. We provide a relaxing environment to ensure a pleasant visit every time. From a simple cleaning to a full dental reconstruction. And now, prepless veneers. We're there when you need us. Dr. Nathan Nash will treat your family just like he wants his family treated. Check them out on Facebook to see all those loving smiles. Call 300-4545. Southern Family Dentistry, we want to make you smile.
Hello, I'm Wes Harris with State Farm Insurance. My customers love the fact that they can call me or my team members anytime. So when they're in an accident on the bypass with somebody that doesn't have insurance, or they come out of the grocery store and somebody's backed into their car and has not left a note, or they come home and there's a tree on the roof, or maybe water pouring out their front door, they call a local agent, somebody that they know. So call me, Wes Harris, with State Farm Insurance, located right here on Van Drive in Jackson.
Men, there's a new salon in Jackson, Race Clips, on South Highland, next door to Roland Safety and Supply. Whether it's a quick trim or a new look, Race Clips stylists can transform you to perfection. At Race Clips, you'll find all the products to keep you looking your best. Active duty military, veterans, and law enforcement officers receive a discount. Open Monday through Friday from 9 to 6, 9 to 3 on Saturday. Race Clips on South Highland, Jackson. Go to race-clips.com.
And we are back, and yeah, the change in microphone, my lucky headset. When I had that one with me, we did not lose it. I forgot it a couple of times, though, so my fault on those.
Coach Joe, don't tell me that.
Killing us.
It hopefully will live to broadcast again next year, though.
That's right.
And
we'll get it worked on.
Let's take a look. We talked about some awards. Are there any practice awards or anything that happened in practice that we need to speak about? I'm sure there's fans out there that want to know, and they run a tempo practice. They correct me if I'm wrong. It's fun for the kids. Kids have said so. There's a couple of drills they like and things like that. Not many people mention the old Oklahoma drill much, though, anymore, but they have some fun drills. They run a tempo practice, and you're not going to practice for 4 hours a day like we used to.
That's right, absolutely. And we try to practice at a high pace to get we don't just like running sprints, just a sprint, but we like to do football movements, and that's why we practice at such a tempo. Limited breaks, but we're able to get them up and moving. And we can't thank our underclassmen enough for the looks that they gave us each week, mimicking other people's offenses and defenses that did an outstanding job. Easton Jones is a guy that you're going to hear his name in the future, near future, about all the work that he's given, but how he's developed. Kai is another one that's going to be a good player for us, and we could go down the list. And Eli Craig is another one that you're going to hear his name very soon. Trent Carrier is a guy that's set to have a breakout year next year.
Oh, he had some tackles on kickoffs, because if you go back and listen to some of the broadcasts, I got a little excited. Trent started, especially over at Fayette Academy.
Yeah,
oh,
I think he made 5 tackles.
Yeah.
Which means we kicked off a lot, so that's good.
That's always a good thing.
I think one thing for me that stands out is when our middle school season finished, and we had some 8th graders come up. And, Coach, they didn't come up and just stand and get a jersey. Seth Joyner, don't let me leave anybody else. Hudson Green, Tristan Nash.
Lucas Witherspoon.
Yeah, those guys came in and just jumped in the drills.
And
Chandler
yeah.
Jumped in the drills, jumped in on scout team. And, I mean, we talked about I've never seen anything like it. And we knew those guys were different. We watched them play for 8 games. And but, you know, Seth Joyner's a kid that just decided to play football this year.
Yeah.
And he plays a middle school football season. And then he jumps in and just starts practicing with the high school team. And there's a lot to be said.
Get out there in those reps and get the reps.
There's a lot to be said for that.
Jumping ahead of upperclassmen to get those reps. You know, going back to one of the favorite moments of the year, during our break, I was kind of trying to reflect a little bit. I haven't had a lot of time to do that, but I think the Fayette game where we were able to get multiple sets of brothers on the field,
yes,
for a defensive series was pretty powerful. Just for those parents and for their older brothers to be out there with their younger brothers, that's a memory they can have for a lifetime. And
that was so good. I heard people talking about it. I got excited about it. But again, that's part of the family thing. And like I said, these young men that coach, y'all don't realize, and they are good fathers and parents and husbands, but they give your kids, they're actually your kids' second set of fathers. And to be able to get brothers together, that is so special. And I know that, and again, because I'm close to Bill, Tristan and Tacker, it's the only way they would have ever been together if y'all hadn't brought them up. But you got to mention Mason Vaughn. If he wasn't hurt, he would have been up with y'all, because Mason's a very talented young man in the skill positions. I have a feeling Mason could play any skill position he wanted to.
Absolutely. We're excited about a lot of those 8th graders. The rest of that 8th grader crew coming up to the high school level in the spring, they're going to give us a lot of depth and compete with our guys.
Yeah, and you know, talking about excitement, when you mentioned that, you think Cam Boyd, because you can tell when he's even being interviewed, you can tell he's excited. But the freshman Jalen Mosley, you can feel football on him. I mean, he is just now, and the longer the season went, the more, teams started kicking away from him. It didn't bother him. They did everything. I've noticed one night it looked like they had, some people call it a spy, but they had somebody watching him, and he was a marked man. He still enjoyed it.
Well, I'll tell you, sorry to cut you off, Coach, but Nashville Christian showed you how much respect they had for Jalen. We were even trying to keep our guy, him and Jack, in the middle to see if we could kind of get a tell on where they were going to kick it. And then to see number 1, who's their starting quarterback and probably a better safety for them, was shadowing him all night behind the corner or behind whoever was on him. And that's a ton of respect for a kid that's, you know, been playing 1 year of varsity football as a freshman. And the sky's the limit for Jay. And what I am proud of him most about is how much he grew up as a leader and how he continued, even in games we weren't winning, continued to play and continued to contribute and smack guys on the helmet. And you can see him in our huddle on Friday. And this kind of embodies what we're trying to accomplish. Jay's going around and slapping guys in the head and on the shoulder and saying, come on, even if it was 21-0. And that's what he's seen that. He's seen that from our upperclassmen as well. And when you're better players, or your guys that touch the ball a lot, when they're your leaders and they're, leading by example. That's a good thing.
Well, y'all put him in a hard spot. He played what I call a one-high safety most of the time. Like a freshman usually don't get that job right there because, folks, that's the last man standing. And he stopped many a runner as the last man.
Absolutely, and he started to figure out that position later on in the year. He got a couple picks, and he was starting to figure out the leverage of how to break, when to break. So sky's the limit for him. Zach McDonald as well.
Oh, Zach, wow. You know he comes from the historic Dennison family here in Madison County. That is a magic word. One of his relatives, E.W. Dennison, was like some of our kids, had some injuries. E.W. didn't warm up with the rest of us. He didn't warm up at Murray State with her. He kind of stood off to himself. He was all OVC several years. And Zach, E.W., I love you, but Zach's going to be better than you were.
Well, and that's the point I was getting to. We have a freshman and sophomore that started all year as our two safeties, and we're very excited about the back half of our defense. But to touch on Jay offensively, he had 82 catches or 82 touches all year, catching and receiving, but he had over 1,300 yards. And as a freshman to do that, that's pretty special.
And he loves the weight room because he told me that he can't wait to get into the weight room and get stronger.
Oh. Which if you'd asked me that a couple years ago, I'd have said you're crazy. But, yeah, he did. He's embraced it.
Saturday morning I woke up from a text from Jalen asking for a meal plan, and so we were able to send him our nutrition plan that we have for all of our athletes for them to chart it. So he's excited about it.
Yes, and, of course, he comes from great stock, and it tells you the kind of kid. His dad made one of the runs that still hadn't been forgotten back a long time ago in the 90s. The folks of Milan, his dad's name is not a popular term because with a cramp in his leg, CJ ran for about 40 yards with the cramp, and it was a total, I think, of 60-something yards, and beat him on the last play of the game for Southside.
Oh, wow.
So, and Jalen's got a lot of that and more. And, of course, he gives his mom credit. His mom is a good lady. She supports him. She does a great job. And we have a lot of great moms in the program, but his mom really gives him some great support.
Absolutely.
And I don't think we couldn't sign off without mentioning this kid's name. Presley Edmondson was our center to start the year.
Yes.
Got injured. He's a really good football player, but Eli Gay stepped up and did a tremendous job this year. And that's what our program's built on, that next man up mentality, focusing on your job, owning your 1/11th of the field, and trusting your teammates to step up when the time's right. And Eli Gay definitely did that and was able – we didn't miss a beat offensively.
Absolutely. Guys, it is time. Both of you, you know my tradition has always been you got a final statement to say anything you want to. Not only Jackson Christian fans, but even Moose at this hour is listening in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Absolutely. I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for our seniors. I'm thankful for our guys for allowing us to coach them hard, but them knowing how much we love and respect them. And we're excited about Jackson Christian football. We're excited about the future. We're excited about the team that we're going to have next year. We're very thankful for these guys and the hard work that they put in.
Coach Bullard?
For me, I'm going to hit on my group, position group, and I coach the outside defensive line. Coach Gillen works with the inside line, interior lineman, but we coach it together. And Ty Smith, Sky Staten, Joey Carr, Chilton Smith, those guys coming back along with what the groundwork that's been set by Carson and Brandon and some of those guys that are moving on. I'm excited about we haven't been able to have that consistency on the line offensively, but also defensively. We've just kind of had to fill guys in. And to be able to bring that back, because that's where the game is going to be won, in the offensive line, defensive line. I'm excited about that, Coach, and just excited for another off season. I'll go to baseball at some point, but we'll still be around the guys, still be checking in on them. And then hopefully we have a long baseball season, but when that's over, going right into spring football, and it'll be here before you know it. And this week is hard. I told my wife, I said you don't realize how tired you are. You don't realize how much you're putting into it. But then when it's not there, when you don't get to go to practice at 3 o'clock and see those guys come down, turn on that music and just see how much they enjoy being around each other, you feel like something's taken away from you. And each year we make a step, and we want to continue to make the next step. And And we talked about it on Friday night, and the next step for us is making to that next round. And we feel like we're going to have guys that can do that and get us there. And we've had guys that have laid that groundwork for us, and we don't ever want to forget those guys. And so we're excited, and I'm excited for another opportunity to coach these guys.
And I know Coach Darby and Coach Bull are both like me. We want to thank Hub City Deli, but the people that supported bringing you the Friday night football, the people that sponsor the field, the banners you see, we want you to go by, tell those people that you appreciate them just like you do Hub City Deli, bringing you this show and the Friday night football. And we want to go that other step. Remember, we are the only school since the playoffs started that has won a state title. We'd like to have 2, though. And you do know that the announcer gets a ring, too.
Absolutely. And Coach Shane Cisco for getting
and Shane
this.
Cisco,
and
yeah.
Organizing between you and Paul and Gary and figuring out when we can do it. And we took this to him, and he didn't hesitate. He called and said, let's see what we can do.
Yep.
And like I said, I want us to grow it and to see how we can make it better and more enjoyable and a better experience.
No, we can, and the people, the response. You're right, Coach Bullard. And we want to thank the administration of Jackson
Absolutely.
Christian and all of the coaches, bless your hearts, that came by, including our middle school coaches have been here. So, and it's a family. The key word, folks, that I'm going to leave you with before I do the disclaimers and stuff is family. This program is about family. I'm sitting with 2 of the finest young men I know. There are some that's not here tonight. Also, I got to mention my man, Greg Armour.
Absolutely.
Something else, Greg Armour. But all the way from Dr. Benton all the way through the program, Jason Shelton, even though I'm going to put a baseball cap on your head or some sun glare black or something up there. And I teased Jason a lot. I knew him when he was a kid at Lipscomb. Well, he wasn't a kid. He was a young man in Donmar. This is where you want to be in the program you want to be with.
Our band, our cheerleaders.
Oh, yes.
Our chain crew. We try to sit down and get all of our thank yous in line, and we know we miss people, but it takes a village to run a football program and to have a season, and wouldn't want to do it with anybody else beside this guy sitting to my left and with all the people that are part of it.
He is a jewel, isn't he?
Absolutely.
The guy sitting I love him to death. Like I said, I wouldn't mind him being my son, and that's about as good a compliment as I can give you. Got to thank one more group, and y'all going to laugh at me. The guys that changed the football out, Chuck Ray.
Oh, man.
I don't know who your runner is.
Blake
but
Beckham did it. Coach
Blake,
our director of advancement. I bet there's not too many places where your advancement guys is running the balls out on a playoff game, and Blake Beckham had the time of his life.
Blake, you're my hero.
There we go.
Trust me on that, because I know about that, and it is not an easy job, and he hustled the ball out there. We had dry football. Some schools, ball guys don't get them out there. We have the best.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Well, it's time for that thing, the disclaimer. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or further use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Worthy Road Studios is prohibited. For the coaches here, and 2 fine ones. For my comrade tonight, Gary Lockhart.
Appreciate you, Gary.
Who drove also with us and had to put up with me playing 50s and 60s music all the way. But now we found out Gary's an expert on that. But, folks, we want to thank you, the Jackson Christian School family, most of all. Thanks for your time this time. Till next time. Good night, all.